The next benefit is the Child Safe Kit. They work hand in hand with the Amber Alert. I'm sure you're familiar with them.
Yeah, I see those all the time.
Well, we also work with the International Police Organization. They're trying to get as many of the child safe kits out to the community at no charge to them, trying to make it safer. I mean, we get really scared. We don't like to think about our child, being abducted or, you know, God forbid you even can lose them in the grocery store sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But this makes things a lot easier, and they actually came up with an app this year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and, most people don't have, that child safety kit on them, but they do have their phone.
Mm-hmm.
So what we would do is you go to your Google Play Store and you would download that app, the Child Safe Kit app. I can show you how that works. There's a code I need to put in before once you get that up, let me put that code in, and then I'll scan your phone for you, and I'll show you exactly how that
here,
works.
I'm not very good with these things. You want to just go ahead and take care of that?
Yeah, I can do that. So right there's, there it is. All right. And you go ahead and you put in the first child's information. Right?
Okay.
Right. Now you've done that. Now you'll see up in the corner there's the share button.
Yeah.
You click on the share button and it brings up all your contacts.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah, and then you click on each one that you know that has a child. You want to click on them as many as you want to, and you can fill out the other information later on, but we can go ahead and get those done for you. And what you do is it'll send a text message to each person that you contact, tell them a little bit about the Child Safe Kit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just ask that you give them a heads up. We'll go ahead and we'll contact them and make sure that they get set up with the Child Safe Kit.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
That's an awesome feature. I want to make sure that all families have that have children for sure. And so it looks like, Kevin, that you qualify for Family Premier, the Family Premier Care Package.
Oh, nice.
And if you choose to enroll today, your contribution will be $38.22 a week.
Huh.
And you wonder, you're curious of how they came up with $38.22 a week. Well, how they come up with that is they take your and your wife's first hour of work, and you pay yourself with that first hour, and your other 39 hours and overtime, you can take and do it with it as you will.
Okay.
So like if your boss was to tell you that you had to work 41 hours a week, you're not going to go out and buy a new car, are you?
Probably not, no.
And if your boss, and this reverse that and say that your boss said that he's going to have to cut your hours, you're only going to work 39 hours a week. Doesn't mean you're going to sell everything you own just to make ends meet.
I doubt it, yeah.
So $38.22 a week, is it going to make or break your household income?
No, definitely not.
No, I didn't think so. And well, the next thing I wanted to speak to you about is the freedom of choice, the death certificate. Have either of you ever been on the financial end of a funeral?
No.
No? Well, that's good.
Yeah.
A lot of people have. And right now, depending on how you would want to bury somebody, it's anywhere between $7,000 to $17,000, depending on if you get cremated or if you have a funeral. And have
right. Yeah, somebody told me it was that expensive. That's a lot of money.
It is. It is a lot of money. And basically, the insurance companies used to have like 24 days, to pay in on a policy. Mm-hmm. Now they have 60 days to pay it on a policy.
Wow.
Why do you think that is?
They're probably trying to make money off my money, right? Interest.
Yes, interest. They're making millions and millions of dollars off the interest of, on people that are grieving. And they actually have two companies, one out of Texas, SCI, and another one out of Canada called Elderwood. What they're trying to do is buy up all the funeral homes and cemeteries they're wanting to be the Walmart,
Yeah.
the Walmart of the funeral industry. And the reason why I bring that up is because they also want to have it that you have to put 50% down. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't have 7,000 in the bank, and most people don't.
No, I don't either.
And if they do, you know, they usually have either plans for it or they're trying to cover the expenses that come, you know, after, you know, somebody grieves like that. Certificate. So, the freedom of choice certificate, have you explained to your beneficiary how the certificate works?
I've never seen one.
Oh, well, basically, what you would do is, let me pull it out here. What you would do is, God forbid anything were to happen to Nellie or anything, but you want to make sure that you have this is someplace where you know where it's at. What you would do is you would call your funeral director, come up with a price that is negotiable between the two of you. You turn it over. You put that amount right here. You'd sign as the beneficiary, and then you'd fill in between what you had arranged with the funeral director. Now, two things are going to happen after you leave. The funeral director, usually this happens this way anyway, but the first thing he's going to do is he's going to call this number in the red bold type. And he's going to ask, is he enrolled? Enrolled to be, of course. The second thing they're going to ask is, how much do they have to work with? And why do you think they ask that?
I don't know. To figure out how much they can spend, probably.
Yeah, we hate to think that things happen like that, but they do. But we try to make sure that that doesn't happen. And what we ask is that you do not tell them how much you have to work with. We're definitely not going to tell them how much that they have to work with. What we'll do is we'll cut two checks. We'll cut one check to the funeral director for the amount that was negotiated on the back, and then we'll cut the other check to your beneficiary. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, now that we have covered both your funerals are taken care of, what would you do if something were to happen to Nellie? What kind of bills do you have?
Oh, all kinds of bills. Yeah, we still have bills.
Yeah. Well,
we can skip down to living benefits. So just skip down to the part about the living benefits.
With the living benefits, you have to, if it's, you would get $1,800.
Living benefits is the 200, 400, 800.
No.
Remember? Just keep going.
So, you have your funerals taken care of, you have your income protected, and then you have your living benefits. $200. You have to, if you have an accident, it can't be for sickness or, you know, illness or anything of that nature. It has to be for an accident. But you have 72 hours if you have an accident and you go to the hospital. I mean, most people don't have, I don't know about you, but my deductible is like $200, you know. And what that does is it'll pay for each visit, as long as you go there within 72 hours. For say that you were in a bad accident and you were, you know, put in the hospital, it'll pay $400 a day, up to 365 days for a year. And then if you were put in the hospital and you're put in intensive care, it would be $800 a day, up to 14 days. And most people, if they're in the hospital longer than 2 weeks in intensive care, the chances of them coming out aren't good. But if things were to get better for you, then you would go ahead and it would revert back, and they just put you in a regular room. It would revert back to the $400, you know, until, you know, up to the 365 days.
Nice.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a great benefit to have.
Yes, it is.